Good morning. Got our coffee. Today's coffee is brought to you by Casey's. Little convenience store by the house that I hit on the way to get my trailer. We're back at work Tuesday morning. You know, the other night I was having trouble sleeping. And so instead of putting on one of my own videos to put me to sleep, I couldn't shut my mind off. And sorry for the noise. Let's pause while this guy pulls out. Sometimes my mind can be my own worst enemy. Works against me. That's where you get paranoid. That's where the what ifs come in. Anxiety. I used to have a lot of anxiety about my health. I still do. I mean, what if I die in this truck? Or what if I have a heart attack and can't work? Or, you know, what if I'm so big they have to cut me out of the house? You know, stuff like that. I worry about my wife. She has a lot on her plate all the time. You know, basically, the spouse of a truck driver, you're practically a single parent, you know. Worry about the future of my kids, you know, they're both teenagers, they're both in high school. And you know, the mind can be a powerful thing. It could work for you, you know, where you got confidence, and you know, ego can work for you or against you, you know. But it's also the one thing holding you back. It's the one thing that keeps you from progressing. It's the one thing that keeps you from starting that health journey, or, you know, the discipline to save up money so you can do the things that you want or pay off the bills, or, you know, it takes a lot of discipline to be a business owner, because you got to have money saved up. And that's hard to do. And the trucking jobs that allow you to do that, to save up a lot of money, you almost don't want to give them up. But that's a different subject for a different day. One of the best skill sets that I've learned is learning to shut your mind down when it starts to work against you. When you start dwelling on something negative, when you start to have an anxiety, a mini anxiety attack, because you know, you're thinking about the fact that, you know, one accident or one ticket or one thing that goes wrong and it all goes to crap. You know, there are days when you feel confident, and there are days when your mind says, no, you're on this thin, fragile line. And if you dwell on that, you'll never get to sleep. You'll start dwelling on the negative things. You'll only see the negative things. You won't be able to enjoy the sunsets. You won't be able to enjoy the good moments, because you've always got that, your mind working against you. And sometimes, you know, you want to be a realist. You want to be real and know that things could fall apart at any moment, but you also want to think, what's the worst case scenario? What can happen? And then think of the best case scenario. Think of the golden, you know, end of the movie happily ever after moment. Picture that in your mind. And maybe life will meet you somewhere in the middle, right? But the skill set of shutting your mind down, and by that I mean, let's say you're driving down the road, your phone's off, CB's quiet, you're just listening to music, and you think of something, you start dwelling on something, like something that happened at home, an argument you might have had with your spouse, or just something, and then when you recognize that you're going down this rabbit hole, stop. Just tell your mind to stop. Put on something funny. Listen to comedy channel on satellite, or find a funny podcast or a YouTube video, something like that. And get your mind away from that. Learn to recognize when your mind's going to start going against you. Think of your mind like a child. At some point, a child can be a really good child and does what you tell them and all that, but then all of a sudden they have a tantrum, they have a fit. Next thing you know, they're kicking and screaming in the middle of the grocery store floor. After a while, you learn to recognize when the child's going to get to that point, and you try to keep it from getting there. Well, the mind's no different. Change that rabbit hole. Make a phone call. Call a friend. Hey, man, what's up? Listen to their problems for a minute. But we can be our own worst enemy. I know I have been. I used to get depressed all the time. And I think some of that is insecurity. If let's say you're a person that calls your spouse and they don't answer the phone, which is kind of weird because, at that particular time every day you guys talk or something. Next thing you know, your mind's starting to wander. Oh, this person's leaving me, this person's cheating on me, this person this and this person that. That's insecurity talking, that's anxiety talking. And the reality is, you call the person up and, an hour later they call back and the phone was dead or something like that, Anyways, try not to be your own worst enemy. I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, it's taken me years to even get a grasp of attempting that. Like I said, I used to deal with depression all the time. A lot of times, all it takes is a good song. But, anyways, enjoy your coffee if you're drinking coffee this morning. I know I am. I'm sitting here at the shipper, getting ready to go to work. And got an easy ride this week and an easy ride back. So, anyways, take it easy. Peace.